Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the real estate market in August of 2022. I'm going to cover all the numbers as per what has happened in that month and give you as much information as possible to help you move forward towards the end of the year. If you're a buyer, a seller, or you're an investor in this market, obviously you want to pay attention to the numbers. You want to pay attention on this information for you to know what to do, what's the next decision that you have to make. So I'm going to be sharing you these numbers, and I'll give you my 2 cents on them. Really my opinion on a lot of these things that are happening so far. Given today there is an interest rates that were announced, and I'll make sure I'll give you that video before the end of the week. But for now, let's look at this numbers here. So I'll focus a lot in Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. When I say Greater Toronto area, I mean this is everything outside of Toronto: Whitby, Mississauga. We've been talking Brampton, Oakville, so anything outside of Toronto. So currently we have Toronto here, and when we look at this, so the average sale year to date has gone up by 11.8%. So we see here the average sale price currently in Toronto is $1,165,794 really. Then if we look here, the number of sales has dropped by 30%. So this is 21,231. So obviously that drop means there's less buyers in the market, and obviously, as we've seen with the interest rates going up, that takes a lot of buyers out of the market, because the affordability for a lot of buyers, not just the purchase price, but the monthly payments becomes a little bit too much, which is why we're seeing the number of sales have dropped drastically. Then the number of days on the market, the average days on market is 14 days. That's gone down by 12.5%. So this is very expected, not like we were seeing last year, or at the top of the year, where properties were selling within 2 days, 3 days, and if your property is staying in the market for more than a week, people start asking questions. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this house? What's wrong with this a semi-detached house or something, So right now we're seeing a lot of properties selling within 14 days. This is 2 weeks. A lot of them are also selling within 30 days actually. So when you see some opportunities out there as an investor, that is something you want to look into, Then when we look at the breakdown here of all type of homes, so all type of homes, we're talking detached house, semi-detached, townhouses. So all type of homes, when you look at this, you see the total sales has gone down by 37%, as I've explained there. This is in 2022. Then the active listings, the number of properties that are currently in the market, that's active listings, has gone up by 25%. 25.2%. So this is 5,135. Compare this to 2021. So that's what we're looking at here. So in 2021, this time of the year, it was 4,103, the active listings. So currently it's 5,135. So that number really tells you how many days properties are staying in the market. The houses are not selling as quick as they were before, or in 2021 at this time of the year. And if you see the average price in Toronto, this price has gone up by 3.2%. I know it's surprising, really. So if you look at 2021, this time of the year, the average sale price was $1,008,008, and right now the average price is $1,031,000. So that has gone up. It's a very smidgen. So this tells you we're coming into a normal market. So this is really how real estate used to trade. If you look at here in 2019, this is prior to the pandemic, the total sales was 2,500. Then during the pandemic, things just went crazy, and the total sales was 3,365. If you see the active listings were in 2019, it was 4,616, and in 2020, during the pandemic, the active listings was 7,211. Then if you look in 2021, the active listing was so low in 2021, the lowest has been this time of the year since 2019, really. This is because during that time, properties were trading very, very quick. Remember, the price of borrowing was less than 1%. A lot of people were buying properties at an interest rate of 0.99%. So that typically was having properties sell. The number of buyers in the market was ridiculously high, and that's why you'd see this number of active listings haven't dropped down like this. Now, if we look at the condo corner here, so in the condo market, this is the most affordable property price range at the moment. We can see here the condos have also gone up in price by 2.2%. So the average price for a condo in Toronto is $736,940. Then the condo sales, the number of sales of condos has gone down by 40%. That's close to 50%. So that's 1,028. So if you look at here, in 2020 or in 2021, the condo sales was 1,738. So we can see here, and the average price was 720. In 2020, 1,536, and the average price was 673. So we're seeing this. We're seeing this right now. Even though the interest rates are ridiculously high, prices are still going up. They're not going up at the rate that they were going up prior. You see here in 2020, the average price was 673, and then it jumped to 720. So we're not seeing this kind of drastic change. We're seeing the kind of change that we're seeing from 2019 to 2020, which was 619 to 673. That's still a high jump. So right now what we're seeing is 720 to 736 at 2%. That tells you we are in a normal market. That's a stable market. And that tells us by the months of inventory as well. So the months of inventory is at 2.71%. So that really gives us a good explanation. What months of inventory means is if there's no other properties in the market at this day, from today, we'll run out of properties within 3 months. In 3 months, we'll not have any other properties. So before, this months of inventory was around 1%. So we'd run out of properties. If no other property came into the market, we'll run out of houses to buy within a month. So that's what months of inventory tells you. And the average months of inventory, or a stable market for months of inventory, is between 3 to 4 to 5 there for months of inventory. So when you're seeing this 2.7, which is close to 3, that tells you we're in a stable market here. Now, when we look at the Greater Toronto, so this is Greater Toronto other than Toronto, anywhere outside of Toronto. So we see the average price is up by 14%. So this is every other area we're talking. We'd be Pickering. If we go out west, we're talking Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville. If we're going north, we're talking Richmond, York, Richmond, Vaughan, Newmarket. So anything outside Toronto. So the average sale price for the Greater Toronto area is 1.2 million, 1,225,582. This is gone up by 14.1%. I know these numbers are quite surprising given the new announcement that happened today of the interest rates having gone up by 3.5%, but this is what's going on in the market. And the number of sales has dropped by 34.5%. So this is 57,000. The number of days has stayed the same to 13 days. So this is very similar to Toronto. So that's why I'm showing this for you guys to have a better understanding of it, depending on where you're looking for your property. And the total sales has, as we can see here, the total sales is gone down by 34%. This is 5,627. And the active listings have gone up by 62%. This is 13,305. So when you see, this just gives you a good understanding of what's happening. A lot of sales, particularly if you have a variable interest rate on your mortgage, you're seeing a lot of sellers are not thinking, hey, the price of affording this property that I have on a monthly basis is really steep for me, or because it's not just the mortgage that has gone up, it's the price of food, the price of gas. All these things accumulate on a household income. So you're seeing a lot of properties coming up in the market, though they're not selling as fast as you can see. So if you're an investor, this is a good opportunity. If you're a buyer that's really strong, this is your opportunity to take advantage of what's out there. So if you see something that's out there and you're a buyer that is strong, you have your payments together, whatever's going on in the market does not affect you, this is the number that you want to be looking at, the active listings. And if you see a property that fits your needs, you want to act. And the average price in the Greater Toronto area is going up by 0.8%. It's not a huge number, but it's still going up, guys. So this has gone up by 1,079,000. So if you compare this on a year-to-year basis compared to last year, 2021, you see the average price has gone from 2019, which was 792, to 2020, which was 950, to 2021, which is 1,070,000. So that was a big jump from 2020 to 2021. If we remember, I'm repeating myself again, the cost of borrowing was very low during that time. And this is why you're seeing prices. It's just a simple explanation of supply and demand. If demand is really high, and the supply is very low, what happens to the price? Goes up. It definitely goes up as well. So right now we're having a situation where you can see here supply is really high, but demand is very low. So the prices are not, they're not acting the way they were acting at the top of the year. The price is just very stable, or they're increasing at a very low rate. So there's a time this is going to, and I'm going to show you in a graph here, there's going to be a time where this is going to shift once everything has settled in, because these hikes that have been brought in right now are hikes that are they're trying to control the market, they're trying to stabilize the market because of what happened during the pandemic, what's going on with the war in Ukraine. So the government is trying to create ways to stabilize the market. So if you keep going here, if we go into the condo market, you'll see the condo market, obviously, it has gone up as well by 3.3%. This is 711,000, not that far off from Toronto as well. The condo sales have dropped drastically by 40%, and this is from the condo sales from 2021, which were 2,544 to right now, which is 1,507. So the condo, it's the most affordable right now for a first-time home buyer, even an investor. Condos are the most affordable right now, and with what we're seeing, what's going on with the rental market in the condo areas, the rental market has just gone at a step range. Maybe that's a video I'll do one day for you guys as well, because the rental market has gone drastically high, which is very important for you as an investor or even as a buyer to pay attention to, because I know there's some buyers out there, just because of the news that's going on, you're holding back. You don't want to look into your situation, and you might already have the down payment to afford the property you're renting, but you're just like, you know what, let me wait. It's very good for you to just dive into and find out what it is your situation is, so that you can be able to move forward. So I want to touch into the average price. This is according to TREB, and it's very important for us to see this, the active. So I like to show this TREB Market Watch for you guys to have a good understanding of it, because it gives me really good insight when I'm actually dealing with a client and letting them know how to plan moving forward. Because a lot of these things, you just want to look at the numbers, you want to pay attention on the numbers, and that is where you make your decisions, as opposed to the big headline news that you have to understand where is that news being announced coming from, or what's the agenda behind there. So I usually use this. I'll look at the numbers for me to be in a better position to advise all the clients that I have. So I want to show this to you and show you how I look at it as well. So the number of sales, this is 2022, 2021, all the way in 17. So we've included 2017 because during 2017, I'm not sure if some of you might remember, in 2017, that's when there was a huge change in the market as well, as we are seeing right now. So it's a good example. In real estate, the beauty about it is everything that's happening has history. We all have been through this at some point. Remember, there were days in the 80s where the interest rate was at 11%. At that time, if you told somebody to purchase a property at $130,000 for a huge 4-bedroom, 3-washroom house in Toronto, it would cost around $200,000, and at that time you're paying 11% interest rate, and they'll look at you like you're crazy. Now the same property is going for $2 million. So let's look at this. In 2017, that's the huge numbers. It's the number of sales was 6,357, and right now in 2022 is 5,627. So not that different. I mean, it's almost $1,000 difference, difference there. Then an active listing was 13,305. If you look here in 17, the active listing was 16,419. So during that time, it was taking the same amount to sell a property as it is right now, if not longer, really. And the price at that time was 732. If you look here, the amounts of inventory was 2.5, which is a lot higher at that time as well, compared to the amounts of inventory right now, which is 2.36. And the average price in 2017 was a lot lower, 732. And the interest rates were not as high as it is right now, but they were still high. They were around 3.5. Some of them, a lot of them was around 3.5%. Right now, I know we're getting variable or fixed rates at 4%. Some are even getting them at 5%. So you have to look at those numbers to really gauge on how to on the type of decisions you want to make, really. So this is a very important chat to really look at, to give you a good understanding. And the reason I'm showing this to you is the difference of 17 and 2022 is because what happened in 17 is similar to what's happening right now, but a different price range. And then as it was changing coming into 2018, you can see the active listing went higher, the price still went up, and the amounts of inventory also went up, and the number of sales went up. So this typically gives me a good understanding, a good guide on what to do. Now let's look at what happened when the market was really hot, and this is in 2020. The number of sales was 10,000. The number of sales was 10,000 compared to number of sales right now, which is 5,000. So that's almost 50%. Then the active listings was 16,000. So the number of buyers, so you can see from this, you see 16,000, and the active listings was 16,000, and the number of sales was 10,000. So that tells you the number of buyers in the market, remember, were drastically high, where properties were having 30 offers on the table, 20, 40 offers. I dealt with one that had 42 offers on the table. Blew my mind. Then the average price was 950 compared to right now, which is 1,079,000. The amounts of inventory was 1.5 compared to now, which is 2.3. So 1.5 properties are selling within months. Actually, if you remember, they're selling within 2 days. We had to have an offer date on it for a bid. Right now, you see properties that are in the market right now, there's no offer date on them because you're expecting an offer to come within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks. So if you put an offer date and the offer date comes in, crickets. So these are things you have to pay attention to, Then when we look at the monthly sales data, this is similar to what I just explained to you prior there before. And when we're looking at all these numbers, I know sometimes it might get all confusing with the headlines, and when you see a huge headline coming up and saying like this is what's going on in the real estate market, and it scares a lot of times. It scares a lot of people a lot of times. Like this week, I'm expecting to be complete quiet because of the whole new interest rates that have been announced at the top of September 2022 right now. So you just have to look at the numbers, get guidance, get somebody who can sit down with you and have this done for you, explain it to you. That way you're going to be in a position to negotiate. You're going to be in a position to at least even put a condition in the offers that you're about to submit. You're going to have a good time to look through the property that you're about to submit an offer for, where you can do an inspection. As an investor, that's huge. As a buyer, that's huge. And you'll get the number that you want. You're not going to get a drastically higher number. Obviously, sellers are not just going to give away their houses also. And also as a seller, you have to really look at your situation and see, are you downsizing? Or are you, we call it smart sizing. Are you smart sizing, or are you moving into a bigger house, a bigger property? So there's opportunity in that as well. So you look at it and look at the trail and the numbers that you have. The house you bought it maybe you bought it in 2015, maybe you bought it in 2009. I don't know, because the house has done its work. It has appreciated tremendously for you. So now you're in an opportunity to get into something much well for you and your family, or you're in an opportunity to smart size into something that fits just you, your wife, your husband, wife, or kid, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your situation is. As a seller, you just have to look at that and see what's more beneficial for you. Are you trying to retire? Are you trying to move to another country where it's going to be a lot cheaper for you? Are you trying to take money out and just get another investment property? Because that's not the worst idea, because the rental market has gone drastically high. So this is the type of the questions that you have to look into. But for now, I'll leave that for you. And if you have any questions, I have my link down below where you can book a Zoom appointment, or you can book an appointment with me, a call, where we can dive deep into some of the questions that you might have. I might look into your situation and see the best way that I could be of any assistance to you. But until next time, hit the like button down here, and subscribe, and I'll be providing more videos for you guys and show me some support. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.